Hello, this is James Hunter, and I'm doing an update with my 50s fitness goals series, body composition, and also physical performance goals in my 50s. So I'm 52 years old, as I've mentioned in this series, and I'm doing a couple things here where I'm doing a body composition, basically a physical transformation series as part of this video. And then I'm also going to be doing with the remainder of this year, some physical performance measures. Earlier in my series, I showed myself doing some plyometric box jumps, a 42-inch one. I've done higher than that before in my 40s, and even recently as 2 years ago, you know, it was a bit in that area more. I have a goal of doing up to a 48-inch plyometric box jump, which would be 4 feet. I have some other things I'm going to be doing, broad jumps, and some other physical performance measures I'm going to decide upon that I think will be interesting as someone in their 50s to continue to challenge themselves. You get it, you get it. So what I'm doing today in this update, I'm going to show some photos. September 6th is my baseline video, and then photos I took where I have a bit of a gut. You can call it a pooch for some people who like to call say they have a beer belly, if you will. Not that I'm drinking beer. So we all need to have thresholds. I talk about this in this series. At what point do you not intervene and start doing something if you see yourself starting to kind of get off track, you're gaining some weight, and so on? I've always had my threshold. I look in the mirror. When I see myself get to a certain point, that's it. I'm going to do something. I'm going to dial it back, and I'm going to start getting back on track. So this baseline video and photos, I'm going to put, I guess, on my left over here. You'll see the baseline video from September 6th. I'll put some still shot photos. You can see my stomach. Definitely had a lot more fat there. You know, on my frame, the way I carry fat on my body, it tends to become more pronounced on my stomach, like a lot of men. And still, you know, on the up on the other parts of the body may appear lean, right? If I'm wearing a tank top, people don't notice the stomach as much. Now, as I lose weight over time, my goal this time around is not to do it super fast at the expense of losing muscle. I don't want to lose muscle and strength. So I've been following a diet. I'm gonna do a separate video on my diet to essentially, yes, I'm losing body fat, but not at the expense of energy, strength, and muscle. So here, 30 days later, actually, it was October 6th. Yeah, yesterday I did another video and got some still shots from that video too. You can see the difference. There is a difference. I've lost probably a few inches or so around the stomach already. I can feel the difference. In the mornings, the stomach's is tighter. It's when you're typically a little bit more dry in the morning when you wake up after using the restroom. That's normal. Later in the day at the gym, in the morning working out, I drink a lot of water. But even after drinking all the water and after workout, you can still see there's a significant difference between the baseline video, September 6th, and then October 6th, which was yesterday on Friday. 30 days essentially or so, right? You see a big difference. So this is only 30 days. Roughly, I guess that's what, four weeks, a little bit over 4 weeks, 4 weeks and a couple of days. So going forward, I'm going to continue losing fat. And the point I want to make in this video about body composition and transformation, everybody's situation can be different. I get it. Some people may have a lot of weight to lose, like people that may be more overweight, obese. But if you're someone, perhaps you are similar to me in that, yes, you can get fat. And I've told my friends and people who know me over the years, you know what, my genetics do not keep me lean all the time. I'll throw a photo up here of how lean I can get, right? Boom. I can get really lean. You get the idea. So I don't stay that way 365 days a year. Just because of my genetics, it takes work and effort. And if I start eating too much, even though I'm working out, like my baseline photo and still shot and video, I was working out, strong, had energy, and felt good. I was just getting more of a stomach and getting more body fat that I really don't need to be carrying because I just got comfortable with my food. And that's the way it's always going to be in life. When you start eating a bit more for your energy demands and requirements, you can gain weight. Even somebody like me, someone who's been accused of just being lucky and it's my genetics, that's why I can stay so lean all the time. Well, genetics do not get you up. at 4 o'clock in the morning so you can be at the gym at 5 a.m. Genetics do not force you and to make you work out 5-6 days a week consistently throughout your life. Genetics do not compel you to adhere to a particular way of eating. Obviously they don't, because I've gotten a bit comfortable with my food situation again, and that's how I start to get fat or fatter. Even eating healthy food that we deem healthy, too much of it, right? So you got to be careful with these things. So just because we get older, by the way, in my 50s, 52 years old, I still have a good metabolism. Yeah, I'm not going to say I do not have a reasonably good metabolism. We'll even say it's above average. It's a good, we'll call it a good metabolism, right? So even then, if I'm not, placing the demands of my body in terms of the expenditure of energy, if it's not enough day to day to beyond what I'm putting in my body, then I'm still can be in a positive energy balance with the calories I consume. I'll still gain some weight, just like a lot of people can. So I still got to put the work in. And so that's why I talk about my thresholds. Sometimes in my life, I've gotten a bit fat. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, that's not acceptable for me. I feel uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable with it. So I listen to my feelings. I feel uncomfortable. It's telling me something. I feel compelled. It's time to do something. And that's why I started doing something 30 days ago. And here I'm at today. So these are where I'm at 30 days later. 30 days later, you can see the difference, the before and the after, in terms of, how much I've already started losing. And so I'm not killing myself with a drastic starvation diet. I'm eating sufficient calories. It is less calories, but plenty of food, getting what I need and the nutrients and so on. And a separate video I'll do of my diet will be a separate video to do it justice and do it proper. So these thresholds are important. I've been talking about it in the video series. So my opinion, it has to do with your values, what's important to you. If you set a standard and have a standard by which you live your life that reflects your values, then you're going to be okay. Because when you do get to a certain point, you're typically going to intervene and do something about it. So right now, what is my end game goal for this year? Well, I'm going to keep carrying this forward. I'm not doing anything unhealthy like drinking alcohol. I'm not doing that. I'm not eating any type of foods like ice cream, sweets, pastries, none of that stuff. I may have a bag of M&Ms on the weekend, so a small bag of M&Ms, essentially peanuts, chocolate covered shell. That might be my little indulgence on the weekend, right? I like a bit of popcorn. Popcorn doesn't really have a lot of net carbs to it, low calorie. I wouldn't believe it's high on a glycemic index or anything like that, right? It's just popcorn. So I may have that for a treat. And so on. Cottage cheese and pineapple chunks. I love that stuff. It's great. So I'm eating food is the point. I'm not freaking starving to death, and I'm definitely losing body fat. I've probably lost, I'm going to estimate in 30 days, I've probably lost about 5 pounds, 4 to 5 pounds, legit in that range. So it can be done when you get back on track and get a plan. So I'm not trying to train for a bodybuilding contest. I've done that in the past. I've competed in the MPC in my 40s, and I competed even in my 50s, but it's been more than 2 years since I did a MPC contest. So my goal here is not trying to get in like a condition or shape for a bodybuilding contest. It's just to get as lean as I can for myself, personal reasons, and have a balance of strength and so on. So because of this, that's also why I'm just kind of comfortable with steady progress every week, every month, losing the fat. And it's not like I have a big race, like I'm trying to beat a deadline to make a weight class or a weekend for a contest. So in this sense, it's actually a bit more, it's not stressful. It's just kind of knowing I'm going to get there. So I hope this helps people realize that we need to have thresholds, and the best of us, if you want to use the term, it can happen to the best of us. Yeah, you can get fat. You can get freaking fat. I don't care. People want to say it's all genetics. It's not. I mean, if I don't follow a plan, I can get fat, have a ridiculous gut eventually, a big old stomach that looks odd on my frame. Everything else might look okay, and I have this big stomach. Yeah, it's not good. I mean, it can feel embarrassing. And not only that, it's just not good for your health and fitness with the hip and waist ratio. So as far as physical performance measures, I mentioned those in the video too. I pulled a calf muscle. I mean, what the hell's going on, right? I've never, ever had issues with my calves. Never. Not until probably when I got my 50s, I like had to notice that, oh shoot, I guess you can pull a calf muscle. When I run a mile, I try to run a mile and pace myself to run a 7-minute, 30-second mile. When I do that, I think, hey, that's pretty, it is. I think that's good. A 7 minutes, 30-second mile average, right? If you're going to run 2 miles or three miles. I typically run 1 to 2 miles, depending on if I'm going to run 3, then yeah, that average may change it up because I'm thinking I'm going to have to run a further distance. So pushing myself to run faster in the mile, and then depending on the surfaces I'm running on, yeah, I pulled my calf, right? It happened. I don't know what the hell. So not used to that. I'm not used to pulling my calf muscles. So I read some articles and research that apparently, you can be more prone to pulling calves in your 50s. So stretching, I've done calf presses throughout my lives, but now I do them with the legs straight, knees bent, and then do it more consistently to kind of strengthen that area. And then there's things to be said about, yeah, your shoes, right? Your shoes might make a difference. I bought some sleeves or socks, if you will, for that, like compression type socks to support the calf muscles. So adaptations to those issues. Point is, my calves getting better. So I'm gonna, get back to my training to do things like the plyometric box jumps. Box jumps, my goal. How high can I jump? Vertical power, horizontal power, broad jumps, right? Can I at least jump more than 9 feet, right? I did that not too long ago. And then, I might do a pull-up challenge for myself. I still do deadlifts, squats, all of the standard lifts in the gym, free weights, and my strength training goals. For where I'm at, I still have a lot of strength for a person of my body weight. And I don't know, maybe if I want to, do a challenge, how much can I deadlift or squat? That may happen right now. The benefit of like trying to do 1 rep maxes, for deadlift, squat, things like that. Is it really worth it versus the potential, okay, maybe I, injure myself. I've typically done well at this stuff over my life. I've never had any serious injuries or any permanent injuries from deadlift, squats, bench, etc. So I don't know. That'll be a challenge that I'll do at some point. But I do train relatively heavy. I do. So whether it's dumbbell rows, for example, I'll still do dumbbell rows with 120-pound dumbbell. When I'm motivated, I can work up to 150-pound dumbbell. So it's relative to what I'm doing. I still train heavy as a point enough to continue to produce and maintain the adaptations for my strength and conditioning, muscles, bone mineral adaptations, keep my bones strong, etc. So I might do some 1 rep maxes in the future on the deadlift, squat, or some of the other weight measurements of strength. But that might be next year. I think this year I'm just going to keep it to things like pull-ups, horizontal power, vertical power, how high I can jump, how far I can jump, and things of that nature, which are still, in my opinion, can be impressive things to do to inspire yourself, maybe other people, for someone who's in their middle age 50s, because 50s, in my opinion, that's middle age these days when you take care of yourself. People maybe in the 60s, right? 1960s, 70s, even 50s, what people were like when they're in 50s, right? They might be different back then. So anyways, I don't want to go on all day long. So I just want to do an update with this series. I'm definitely getting leaner. I mean, I can feel the difference in 30 days as far as just my shoulders, back, and the fat on the waist, though, man, that takes more time. Fat on the waist is the first to come, last to go. It's always been that way, and that's okay. I guess that's where we can store it the most. So yeah, you can have a ripped deltoids, striations on your rhomboids, back muscles, lats, and so on. But then you'll have that still some fat on the way. So it's what it is. This, for me, at this point in my life, it's really health driven, functionality driven. I want to be very functional, strong, things that just make life better. And sure, there's nothing wrong with feeling good about looking better as far as, your aesthetics and stuff. That's not, in my opinion, that's not a bad thing to have a bit of that too. It's one of the benefits, right? Who wouldn't want to feel better about, being able to maintain their self as far as feeling good about, how you look and just being fit. Nothing wrong with that. So it's about the balance. So I hope everybody has a good weekend. Today is Saturday. October 7th, this is where I'm at, and my fitness in my 50s, body compositions, and upcoming physical performance goals. Thank you, and have a good day.